Today we're going to be making a blueberry pie. Mostly just because I want to use this cool pie dish. So I made the crust for this starting yesterday because I had to rest overnight. So let's roll that and then we will get into making the pie filling. So we are going to make a sweet dough for our blueberry pie, or a pâté sucré, if you will. We're going to need some eggs, salt, butter, vanilla, confectioner sugar, almond flour, and cake flour. So let's take this over to the mixer. So we are going to need 6 ounces of butter. And then that goes in here. If you can get any of it actually in the bowl. We need about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna mix that until it combines together. So then we need 112 grams of confectioner sugar. And we're gonna mix that all together. We're going to add 7 grams of vanilla. That's a lot of vanilla, I gotta make more. And 39 grams of almond flour. And we wanted 63 grams of eggs. And that, a huge egg. Actually, I have to take a little bit out. Just a little bit. Okay, so we add that in there. Bloop. Nice free-range, homegrown chicken eggs for my mother-in-law. I like how they're extra yellow. 315 grams of cake flour, and we're going to mix that in gradually. This feels like cookie dough. It's like sticky. This is not what I would have expected, but that's okay. This is a learning process. And if I have learned one thing so far, it's that sometimes the recipe will surprise you. So I'm thinking we're going to put this in the fridge, have that butter, harden everything up overnight, and it won't be quite so cookie dough-ish. This makes enough for 2 pie crusts. It says the dough should be soft but not sticky, and it's like definitely sticky. So I might have overmixed it. It tastes just like cookie dough, so that's cool. Kind of like a short crust. Shortbread cookie dough. So I'm going to make 2 separate packets for the 2 separate crusts that we get here. Just to make it easier for myself. And then we put that in the refrigerator to let it rest overnight. So here's my dough. We're going to roll it out and then line our baking pan and blind bake that a little bit first because I have never made this crust before. I'm not sure how it's going to react. Usually when I make a pie, I make a different kind of crust and just bake it all together without blind baking it first, and it usually comes out pretty well, but today we're going to try something a little different. So this is a sweet crust recipe from my French baking cookbook, and it's very similar to like a cookie dough. Very similar to a cookie dough. We use that? I'm pretty excited about this. I love blueberry pie. It's one of my favorite things to eat of all time. And before we bake it, I'm going to just pop it back into the fridge for a couple minutes. To make the blueberry filling, I always make it in a pan first. I always pre-cook it and then put it into the pie crust just to do the last minute congealing. But this way I can control how much moisture is in the filling instead of just doing like a guesswork kind of a thing at the end. I'm using frozen blueberries. I actually don't know if I've ever made a pie with fresh blueberries. I feel like that's kind of sacrilegious to take a fresh blueberry and bake it. Like, I just want to eat those. I just want to eat these 2 though. We're gonna do 2.5 pounds of frozen blueberries. That's a lot of blueberries. So I'm going to put them in my bigger pan. It'll cook down, it's fine. Then we're gonna do 1/2 cup of sugar. Three tablespoons cornstarch. I like to sift it in. Make my life a little easier. And then I mix the cornstarch in and coat everything while the berries are still frozen. Also going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice to that mixture as well. And a teaspoon of ginger, and the same thing, a teaspoon of cinnamon. Sometimes I like to just put a pinch of salt in there. It can also be nice to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we just mix that all up, turn our heat to medium, and wait for the magic to happen. Blind baking these. So this dish is quite deep, so we'll see how it goes. If it shrinks a lot, it is what it is. We're gonna make that at 325 for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, our blueberries are cooking down nicely. You might have started thinking like, oh my God, that's so many blueberries. But actually, they cooked down. We're about halfway through this pan now. And, you know, like I said, the pie pan that I have is quite deep. So we're gonna need quite a few blueberries to fill that up. I must bring some sunflower seeds to appease the parrot. He's making quite a racket today. You are too. So we want to make sure we are stirring consistently here so that the berries and the juice doesn't stick to the bottom too much. And now's the time to taste the filling and see if you want to add any more spices or sugar to it. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I think I'm gonna add a splash more lemon juice. Just a little bit. Normally I would use regular lemons and squeeze the lemon juice out. This week I forgot to buy lemons at the store, and I happen to have a bottle of lemon juice in the fridge, so it's not ideal by any means, but it'll work. Pie just came out of the oven. Okay, so we're gonna bake that for another 10 minutes. So here I have the extra crust that we cut off. I just baked it to see what would happen. I don't know if you can hear, but it's got a nice snap. That it has a nice shortbread kind of quality to it. I'm really not sure how it's gonna work out for a pie, but you know, I'm willing to experiment. It's for science. Oh, it's shrinking. It's shrinking. Now we're going to make a crumble topping. I know what you might be thinking. A crumble topping on a blueberry pie? Yes, yes. A crumble topping on a blueberry pie is heavenly. So we're going to use the remains of our butter, which is about 4 tablespoons. And I'm gonna melt that. So there's our crust. It did shrink a little bit, but it's not too bad. Ooh, hot, hot. A 1/3 cup brown sugar. Half a teaspoon cinnamon. Pinch of salt. Do you ever like to hold the utensil still and stir with the bowl? Just mix it up sometimes. Get it? And then we're putting in 2 of these 1/3 cups of flour. I like to whisk whenever I can, so you can see. There's our tart shell pie pan, pie shell, pie crust. That's the one. And we're gonna dump this in here. Ooh, okay. Yep, too much. Too much, too much. That's probably good. Just get your fingers all up in that crumble. What's impossible? Crumble topping? It's very much not impossible, actually. I'm making a pie. What are you doing? Now, it's by no means necessary to coat the entire top of the pie in crumble, although you won't regret it. pile it on top. This is the best part anyway. I mean, who are we kidding? Yeah. Like, you know, Elliot knows, so. Crumble topping with my fingers. And we're gonna put that in the oven. Be right back. Okay. Beautiful pie. Fare thee well. That's gonna be in the oven for about 20 minutes probably, and then we'll see how it looks. For the rest of the blueberries that we cannot fit in the pie, I'm going to put them into a container, put in the fridge, and you can use that for like ice cream on the top, or a peanut butter and jelly, or a snack. The possibilities are endless. The timer was on for 20 minutes and it just wasn't done yet, so I put it on for another 10 and now it's done. So let's see. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Crumble topping, nice and crunchy. Crust, golden brown. Now all we have to do is wait for it to cool and then we can have some. Our pie is cool, or cooler. It's still a little bit warm on the bottom, but I think we should have a slice. Okay, it's a little gooey. Probably should put that in the fridge. Let's give it a whirl. Let's get the crust in there. It is nice. I do like that crust. It's very good. I would make that again. My teeth are purple. Oh my god. Don't look at those. It doesn't look the prettiest in presentation form. It still needs to cool a little bit. I'm just being patient. I got to use my new pie pan and it looks nice in there. If I put it in the refrigerator and got it to congeal a little bit more, it would look a little prettier. But who has time for that when there's like pie on the counter? Thank you. This has been a great afternoon and I hope you had a lot of fun. Join me next time when I whisk up something else. Bye, buddy. Oh my god. I don't brush my teeth.